Welcome to the Flute 360 podcast, where we incorporate a panoramic view of flute-related topics. I am your host, Heidi K. Begay, and this is episode 100, Building Your CV Through International Experiences with moi. Today's sponsor is brought to you by J&K Productions. Did you know that not only are they a production company for podcasts, but they are a recording company for musicians? Any musical recording needs that you may have, J&K Productions can fulfill that need. They have all the necessary equipment and expertise to record your next flute recording for college or graduate auditions, competitions, summer festivals, or a flute album. J&K Productions can record any setup imaginable, from solo flute, small chamber, flute and piano, and much more. Consider J&K Productions for your next recording project. Contact them at jkproductions.media. Hi guys! Today is a special episode for all of us because it's episode 100. Since this is a huge milestone, I would like to take a few minutes and thank the necessary people. First, thank you to past and current corporate sponsors. Thank you so much for believing in me, the platform, and the content that goes out weekly. If I did not have your financial support, I could not continue with the Flute 360 podcast, so thank you. Second, many thanks to my kind husband, Eric, who is also Flute 360's audio engineer. I am proud of your work and even more proud to be your wife. Third, I would like to thank all of my guests that have come onto the show. Thank you for sharing your research, thoughts, and time with us. I am a true believer that we all learn and grow when we communicate our ideas and come together in a collaborative way. Fourth, I'd like to thank any college, academy, conservatory, and/or music festival that has invited me to come to your event. I am honored to have met musicians from all walks of life. Last but not least, you, the listener. Whether today is your first episode or your 100th episode, thank you for listening to the show. I love the Flute 360 flute family that we have formed, and I appreciate any ratings, reviews, and/or feedback that you may have given over the last 2 years. Okay, so before we dive into today's topic, please go back to episodes 98 and 99 with Nevart and Demarre. These 3 episodes are all a part of Series 21, and I think hearing the whole package can really help give you new insights within this realm. Nevart and Demarre have a lot of experience with performing and teaching internationally that I wouldn't want you to miss out. Okay, so today's topic, building your CV through international experiences. Now, for those of you who have been following me through social media, know that I have been in Europe for these past 4 months, specifically between August through January. I just came back to my Texas home and have adjusted well back into the States. If you do not follow me through Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and/or Tumblr, please go over and subscribe so you don't miss out on any podcast updates. Through the 4 months of being abroad, I have learned so much, and I want to make sure that I purge the information into this episode to help you. I know this is a very specific topic, building your CV through international experiences, but seriously, there is something here for everyone. I just want to highlight what Nevart and Demarre said in episodes 98 and 99. It's so important that if you know you cannot, for whatever reason, go abroad, a lot of these principles can apply to your performing, teaching, and/or presenting at the national level. Please keep that in mind because I want everyone to be able to benefit from this information. Okay, so I've grabbed my Bulgarian tea and I'm ready to share the lessons I've learned from Greece, Romania, and Bulgaria to hopefully help you with your career. First, let's ask ourselves the question, why should I even consider adding international experiences to my resume or CV? Well, I think there are a lot of benefits to performing, teaching, and presenting abroad. First, I believe this could make you more marketable to future employers. The reason being, you are now more globally visible. You are presenting your creative work, performing in different concert halls, and basically, you are putting yourself out there. People will know who you are and what you do. This is so attractive to employers, which segues into point number 2 very well. As you are putting yourself out there, you are meeting new people and forming new connections. Therefore, your network is broadening. This is a huge plus to have a healthy pool of musicians that you can call and collaborate with on future projects, events, and more. Third, through these experiences, you are building character and perseverance. Even if you aren't looking specifically to be hired by an employer per se, but want to step outside of your comfort zone, then this is a great way to be exposed to a new environment, people, culture, and so much more. The second big question that you may be asking is, where do I start and how do I go about such an endeavor? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Whether you are a student or a professional, I think anyone can consider taking on international experiences to help their career. For students, consider participating in an international music festival, being a competitor at an international music competition, or masterclass. Demarre and Nevart both mentioned the international music festivals in their episodes, which I'm so glad they did. I would like to make a small note about this. I know there are international music festivals out there in which you can study with a native music professor, but abroad. This is great for someone who wants to get their feet wet in a new environment, but would like some familiarity with a professor from their homeland. But if you want to establish foreign connections while on your trip, then I would highly recommend that you consider an international festival that has faculty members who are native to that region. Here's a quick example. As an American student, myself, I went one summer to Sterzing, Italy, and took a week to study with Dr. Patricia Sermon, who is also an American flutist. I learned a lot and had a wonderful time. Now, if I wanted to schedule recitals, masterclasses, and/or workshops in Sterzing, Italy, I wouldn't have any connections to that town because I only met American faculty members. But fast forward a few years, and I studied with Dr. Nevart Galileas, who is a Greek flutist, at a summer music festival in Thessaloniki, Greece. Guess what? Because of that experience, I met the president of the conservatory and other Greek musicians. Because of this, I had more ties to Greece because of that setup. Then, in 2019, I was invited to come out and give recitals, masterclasses, and presentations because of the prior year. I think this is important to note these differences. Okay, so if you are a professional wanting to add some experience to your CV, then consider submitting a proposal to an international music festival or being an adjudicator at a competition, among other possibilities. If you want to schedule your own tour, I would use the people and the resources that you already have. The music world is so small. For example, I knew that after Greece, I had to leave the Schengen area after 90 days. Therefore, I knew that I wanted to travel to either Romania and/or Bulgaria because they are neighboring countries to Greece. About a month before I even went to Greece, I noticed that a flute friend, Mark Sparks, had tagged himself in Bulgaria around July 2019. I quickly messaged him and asked if he knew of anyone in Bulgaria that I could reach out to, and lo and behold, he put me in touch with Simona, who is a Bulgarian flutist in Plovdiv. Also, during a Flute 360 interview with Emma Shubin, I mentioned Bulgaria and she put me in touch with Danny, who just so happens to be an American flutist but living in Sofia, Bulgaria on a Fulbright scholarship. You really just never know. Another way to make connections to a certain area is to reach out yourself. I kid you not, I probably wrote hundreds of emails and made hundreds of phone calls to set up my international schedule for the fall semester 2019. If you find yourself in the same position, don't let that discourage you. I used Google. I found the schools, academies, and conservatories that were in the cities that I was traveling to. I emailed the music directors and flute professors. I kindly told them who I was and what I wanted to share with the students. Through these means, I met Iva and Dejan, who are two Bulgarian flutists, who helped me set up masterclasses and Flute 360 presentations in Sofia, Bulgaria. What I have learned from this process is that some of the websites tended to be outdated. Links were not working, emails were not listed, and so on. If you find this to be the case, pick up the phone and make a good old-fashioned phone call. This actually is in your best interest. Remember that through these correspondences, you are messaging people from a different country. Their customs might be different than your own. I learned that the older generation in Bulgaria actually preferred the telephone, so that's something to keep in mind. Now, if you are thinking, yes, this might be something that you want to pursue, then here are a couple things to consider before you fly out to said destination. International travel, as you know, is expensive, and I want you to get the most bang for your buck. Please consider your finances and your music schedule. For finances, you might want to consider obtaining a remote job. This could be a show note writer for a podcaster, an audio engineer for a company, or a tutor through an online school. Something where all you need is the internet. Now, I know this probably sounds too good to be true, but I know of musicians who are considering this path and pursuing it. This helps them as they are pursuing their musical endeavors. There is this website, Upwork, that can help you find a remote job if you are interested. Another financial tip that I can give is to use a credit card that does not have conversion fees. One tool that really helped me was a borderless account, which is actually a debit card. An example of this is TransferWise. You can select which currency you will be using in X country. Being financially secure will definitely help with travel expenses, and it will give you a peace of mind. Also with finances, you might consider selling some of your belongings to help with your budget. Now for the music schedule. I want your schedule to be a healthy one in which future employers can clearly see how you utilized your time. Ideally, I think you want to showcase that you are the full package. I would schedule events through the music schools that encompass these three areas: performances, masterclasses, and presentations. The first two are obvious, but for the presentations, you could present a workshop, your recent research, or a creative project that you are passionate about. Since I have been involved with Flute 360 for 2 years, I was able to present the podcast to the students. If you need some ideas to help you within this realm, feel free to message me. I would be more than happy to help you. No matter what you do, please make sure to video record these different events. To have a visual representation of your performances, teaching, and presentations, it is so crucial to have these files to build your portfolio, whether through YouTube or your website. You want your work to be as visible as possible. If you feel that your finances are in order and that you have a healthy, realistic music schedule, then here are some tools that can aid you throughout your travels. For me, I purchased an iPad Pro before I left, and this was my resource to store my music. I scanned my music through Tiny Scanner and was able to use the iPad in rehearsals and concerts. Consider the screen size and the storage space for your iPad. I also purchased a stylus, a microphone stand, and went to a company called AirTurn for the pedal and the iPad holder. I would highly recommend this company. They are great. Now, there are some music apps that I utilized throughout my trip, and they are forScore, IMSLP, and NKODA. Other apps that worked out well were Moovit, Omio, and Google Translate. I will definitely provide links in the show notes so that you can check them out. Okay, we have talked about the physical preparation. Now let's talk about the emotional preparations. Just note that you will be going through a lot of change, and this could be stressful for some people. I would consider helping yourself as much as you can and get the adequate support that you need. This will look different for each individual. Consider helping your mind, body, and spirit. Eat well, exercise, and be in contact with family and friends that will support you. Spiritually, for me, reading the Bible and my daily devotionals really grounded me. Find what works well for you. In general, you will learn as you go, so you don't need to have all the answers before you travel. Also, have fun and be adventurous. Hopefully you have enjoyed today's episode, and until next time. Today's sponsor is brought to you by J&K Productions. Did you know that not only are they a production company for podcasts, but they are a recording company for musicians? Any musical recording needs that you may have, J&K Productions can fulfill that need. They have all the necessary equipment and expertise to record your next flute recording for college or graduate auditions, competitions, summer festivals, or a flute album. J&K Productions can record any setup imaginable, from solo flute, small chamber, flute and piano, and much more. Consider J&K Productions for your next recording project. Contact them at jkproductions.media. Thank you for listening to the Flute 360 podcast. For more information, please visit HeidiKBegay.com. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please rate and review in the iTunes store. Let's talk about flute.